Okay, so this video is going to be about law of sines. Law of sines is actually somewhat simple and something that you've been able to do because it's proportions. We just have this extra little trig function in there, so I'll make it somewhat more difficult, but not too bad. So the first thing you should write down is the actual equation for law of sines, or the formula for law of sines, I should say. A over sine A equals B over sine B equals C over sine C. The little letters, if you remember, are the letters that represent the sides, and the larger letters are the ones that represent the angles. You're never going to use this in all three parts. It's going to be a proportion, so you're either going to use the A's and the B's, the A's and the C's, or the B's and the C's. You'll never use all three parts together. The only thing you need when you're using law of sines, you need to know when you're given information, it has to be two of the same. You have to have an angle and a side that's the same letter, or representing the same value, and one different. It could be an angle or a side, it doesn't matter. So you just need to have two of the same and one different. So we're going to try a couple examples. So I have, for the first one, A is 40 degrees. Angle B is 30 degrees, and side B is 10 degrees. Remember, the big ones are the angles, and the little one is the side. Capital letters are angles, lowercases are sides. So the first thing you want to do is draw a little sketch of the triangle. It doesn't have to be beautiful. So I have an A, a B, and a C. Angle A is 40, angle B is 30, and side B is 10. And I want to solve for the rest of the triangle. So I want to find side C, side A, and angle C. So I want to solve all those values. So I know A and I know 2 of B, so I'm going to use the law of sines with the A in it. So A over sine A, and I'm going to use the portion that has a B in it because I know both of my B's. So B over sine B. So I want to plug those values in that I know. So I know angle A. I don't know side A, so side A is going to just stay a lowercase a. So I have the sine of 40 equals side B is 10 and angle B is 30. So sine of 30. So how do you solve a proportion? We cross multiply. So if I cross multiplied, I would get ten times the sine of 40 equals A times the sine of 30. And you want to solve for A, so to do that, I would get rid of the sine of 30, divide both sides by the sine of 30. So I would get A is equal to 10 times the sine of 40 divided by the sine of 30. And I could type that right in my calculator. I'm getting off the page here. So if I type that in my calculator, ten times the sine of 40, and I want to divide it by the sine of 30. And your calculator should be in degrees. If it's not in degrees, make sure it's in degrees because you're typing in degree values into the sine function. So your answer would be A is equal to 12.8557 da 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 da. So we'll round to the tenths place for all these values. So 12.9, A would be. And now if I want to solve for C, we're going to get rid of this problem so I have more room. Solving for C, I'm going to use my B's because I know both of them. And I'm going to use my angle C because if I know two angles in a triangle, I can find my third angle. So angle C would equal 180 minus angle A minus angle B. Because there's 180 degrees in a triangle, so if I subtracted those two, 180 minus 40 minus 30 would give me 180 minus 70, which would give me 110 for angle C. So I know angle C is 110. And since I know both of my B's and I want to find my side C, I could use the law of sines again. But instead of using my A's and my B's, I'm going to use my B's and my C's. So I know my B's, so I can plug those in. So I'd have 10 over the sine of 30 equals side C, I don't know, that's what I'm trying to solve for. And then the sine of 110 for angle C. So again, I want to cross multiply. So 10 times the sine of 110 equals C times the sine of 30. Again, I want to get C by itself, so I want to divide by sine of 30. Oops. So I'd get C is equal to 10 times the sine of 110 divided by the sine of 30. Again, I could type that into my calculator. So 10 times the sine of 110 divided by the sine of 30. And you get side C is equal to 18.8 if I rounded to the nearest tenth. So that's solving for the triangle. You know both your A's, both your B's, and both your C's after you solve for that. Now I want to do example number 2, which is a little bit different. So again, I want to sketch my triangle so I know what I'm looking at. So I have my triangle, doesn't have to be beautiful. A, B, and C. You know, angle B is 32. You know, side B is 17, so that'd be opposite angle B. Side C is 11, so that'd be opposite angle C. And you want to find angle C, angle A, and you also want to find side A to solve the whole entire triangle. So I'm going to use my B and my C proportion. So B over sine B equals C over sine C. Because I know both my B's and I know a C. So if I plug in what I know, side B is 17 and angle B is 32. Side C is 11 and angle C I don't know, so that's what I need to solve for. So again, I want to cross multiply. So 11 times sine of 32 equals 17 times the sine of C. You want to get sine of C by itself because sine goes with the letter C, so I can't get rid of the sine yet. So I want to divide by 17. So I'd have sine C is equal to 11 times the sine of 32 divided by 17. The only way to get rid of a sine is use sine inverse. So I want to get rid of the sine because I want to find the value of C. I want to find the angle. So to do that, you have to do sine inverse to get rid of the sine. So if I sine inverse, I would get C is equal to the sine inverse. I suggest typing this all in at once so you don't mess up anything. So sine inverse of 11 times the sine of 32 divided by 17. So again, I could type it right in my calculator. So sine inverse is second sine. I want 11 times the sine of 32, and I'm going to put in parentheses because that's all my numerator. Then divided by 17. And if you type that in, you get C is equal to 20.1 if I round it to the nearest tenth. And that would be a degree because you're finding an angle. So now that I know angle B, which was what I was given in the beginning, is 32, and angle C is 20.1 that I just found, I can find angle A by taking 180 minus angle B minus angle C. So I'd get 180 minus 32 minus 20.1. So I'd get angle A as 127.9 degrees. I want to know side A now. So I'm going to use my B's again because I know both of those. And I'm going to use A because I want to find side A. So B's I was already given in the beginning. So I have 17 for my side B. The angle is 32. My side A is what I'm trying to find. And angle A I just found by subtracting 180 minus B and angle C. So again, I'm going to cross multiply. So I'd have 17 times the sine of 127.9 equals A times the sine of 32. Divide by the sine of 32. So I would get A is equal to 17 times the sine of 127.9 divided by the sine of 32. If I type that in my calculator, 17 times the sine of 127.9. That's not times. Try it again. 17 times the sine of 127.9 and divide it by the sine of 32. You get A is 25.3 if I round it to the nearest tenth. So then I would know all values of that triangle. I want you to try these two problems and bring it to class tomorrow for the try now problems. And solve the whole entire triangle for every missing value. So the first one you're given, A is 33 degrees, angle C is 70 degrees, and side C is 7. And I want you to find angle B, side A, and side B. The second one you're given angle A is 70, side A is 14, and side C is 9. So you need to find angle B, side B and angle C.